Hello, it is Marianne Kilkenny, Women for Living in Community. Hi everybody. Percy's tail you will see wagging here because he's here helping me. I don't know how much help he's going to be, but he's here. So everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Guess what we're talking about? Let me know you're here. Say hi in the comments so I'm sure that we are ready to go. Hi, there's someone out there. I see you. Say hi. So while you're thinking about saying hello, that would be, what do we call ourselves? Well, we got one answer from somebody that said, hi from Linda from Sarasota. Hi Terry, welcome. So this week I had asked you to weigh in on what is the thing that we call ourselves as a cohort, as a group, as a whatever that is. And that is, is it senior citizen? Is it crone? I gave you some options. Is it elderly? The elderly thing, as those of you that know me well, when someone says something about someone being elderly, I have to really hold myself back from saying, I'm not elderly, do not use that term. Well, that's what has brought this back to my attention yet again, because that whole COVID thing and shots. If you're elderly, meaning if you're over 65, you need to go get a shot. I don't care what your opinion on it is or not. I'm talking about what are the terms that are most often used. And there were some really interesting ones. I gave you sort of a picture of what they could be. And part of this is because, as I said last week about terminology and community, I have a father. He's since passed, but he was a semantics professor, so I get sort of stuck on this terminology. And this one in particular, because I am one of these people who is over 65. And welcome all of you. Good to see you. And so I thought, well, I'm going to just ask the troops here to weigh in. So I put it both on my personal Facebook page and on the Women Living in Community Network Facebook page so that I could report in what came about. Well, I'm going to get to that. But first, hey Debbie, and it would be, what terms have actually been trotted out. And before Linda says, like seniors, because it's just like in school, it's the name or the process or of the evolution of life. That's good. That's a good long thing to say that. It's perfect. And there's been some certain terms, and I'm going to give a couple of them to you that one in particular I resonate with, and that is, but the first one is middle essence. So this was termed by a researcher by the name of Barbara Waxman. So if you want to learn more about middle essence and the whole way that she has come about this, and she's an expert on aging, and she wants the middle-age stereotypes, like myself, to be a little bit different. And middle essence, she says, is a transitional period between the age of 45 and 65. And marked by an increased desire to find or create greater meaning in one's life. We like this? Yeah. Yeah. I think it does very well with that. Hello, Judy. And the essence, as Debbie said, middle essence. The essence of being in the middle. She also has an interesting quiz that I sort of played with, and that is, it's called the 5 to Thrive quiz. And on this quiz, which you could probably look up on her website, the 5 areas are exercise and nutrition, rest and renewal, that one, focus and growth, joy and passion. This is an interesting one. Time and effort. So you might want to look that up as a way to see a little bit more about middle essence. One of the terms I threw out there in our poll was one that I'm familiar with because I actually went to the Modern Elder Academy online last year. And this is a term that was coined by Chip Conley, who actually, as you would not be too surprised to know, actually has written a book and runs the Modern Elder Academy, which is in Baja and soon to be in Santa Fe, New Mexico in 2023. I just lost a century there. Oof me. Anyway. So, a modern elder, and I have actually talked about this in another blog, and that is an alchemy, I love the word alchemy, of curious and wise. And the wise leads to the wisdom and distills into the essentials. So I looked at this and sort of thought, so you're curious and wise, and you look at what's really important as to what is really important as far as a priority. And in the Modern Elder description, it's cultivating wisdom, building emotional intelligence. You don't get to just get old. And strengthening intergenerational collaboration. I like that. And finding a deeper meaning in our work, in our personal lives. That's how we become modern elders. So that's kind of a long description if you were to have this conversation with somebody and say, no, I'm not elderly, I am a modern elder. The reason I'm a modern elder is because I'm curious. I know my priorities. I have lots of friends in various age groups. And I'd like to think I have quite a bit of, emotional intelligence. I'm a modern elder. And if they're not gone, that was a joke, maybe you can have a further discussion about it. So I'd like you guys to sort of think about that as far as what action you might be able to take to become curious, to have deep meaning or find deep meaning, and increase your emotional intelligence. Anybody game? Say yes. Hearts, say yes. Thumbs up. Ready? Which one? Curious, deep meaning, emotional intelligence. So, anybody out there? Hello? Okay, I'm going on because nobody told me that I've stopped. Another person who sort of weighs in on the whole getting old movement is a woman at Yale who is a researcher. And she talks about in her study about the negative effects, and you might all know about this, and that is the effects of saying things like, I'm having a senior moment. I'm getting old. That's because I'm old. I can't do those stairs because I'm old. So her research and says that if one continues to use that negative phraseology, oftentimes, I mean, her research actually says this can shorten your life. So if you can stop yourself from saying, I'm old, I'll never be able to do that, those limiting kinds of beliefs, you can extend your life an additional 7.5 years from just the languaging that you hear. So I challenge you yet again, everybody. I don't think we need to say those things. So I challenge you when you're about ready to say, I'm having a senior moment, or I'm old, or I can't do that. Rephrase it. There's a possibility that you can actually increase or add on to the quality of your life, and I would guess very possibly the length of your life. Yeah, Judy, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. Judy, good to see you. Adley, you too. Debbie says she's only getting a part of these, so hopefully it's her internet, not everybody's. Okay. So this is the big reveal. The big reveal says the terms I threw out there were elderly, senior citizen, wise one, boomer, golden girl, modern elder, crone, and elder. And this went out to you guys and also my personal Facebook. And I have to say, my personal Facebook friends, came up with some very funny ones, some very interesting ones. So I'm going to share a few of them with you. Beautiful, person, goddess, majestically mature, old wise one, old woman, a wise woman versus a wise guy. And one person said, well, what are you going to call me? And he actually said his name. You know, funny. Recycled teenager, sage of ages. Ooh. Would you like to try to tell someone that? And it's two very wonderful, funny ones. One is polished silver and nostalgic expert. That's lovely. They're all just great. And I want to thank all of you that weighed in on ones. That would be Robin, Linda, Beverly, Maria, Eileen, Karen, Catherine, Sandy, Bill, Nancy, Jane, and Judy, Kathleen, Luann, and Ron. So the ones that were winners with all of 3, so you can see it was all over the map, was crone and older adult. Clearly, nobody agrees on this. And those of you that talked about crone, thank you very much, because I'm a fan of crone as well. And that's part of why I wrote a blog and did a video about the wisdom of the crones. And I put that in the description for you, so hopefully you'll be able to see that I did. So there's a little bit of a different take on the whole concept of the crone. And with all that said, there clearly is not a winner. One that all of us say, call me that. I'm a boomer. I'm a senior. I'm an older adult. So we're still looking. We're still searching. So any of you that come up with something, I'd love to get behind whatever it might be. Maybe not elderly, but any of these are pretty good. And I want to say a shout out to all 20 of you that sent one in or had an opinion, because I'm all about opinions. And I wanted to thank LaDonna. I don't know if you're here today, but her take on this was, whatever it is for you, say it with pride, respect, and gusto. I like that. And as I said, there's no final answer, as I said in whatever game show that was. So I'd love your comments. Which one of these did you fall in love with? There's still possibility of weighing in. And as I said last week, I'm always looking for something that you would like me to talk about, because otherwise I talk about the things I want to talk about. And the funny thing about this is I looked up when I did my last blog or video about this particular topic, because I don't know, it keeps coming back as something that I think is an important thing, because we haven't settled on anything that is for a huge age population to say, you know, what are we? What are we called? So we're still looking. And Debbie, when I asked, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure, about topics you'd like me to talk about or weigh in about, she said, I think this is what you said, Debbie, and that was, how, Marianne, did you take that leap to, like, I'm moving into a house with other people, I'm moving to Asheville, I'm just decided that I'm going to buy a piece of property. How did you do that? Well, I'd like to say it was short, but I'm glad to sort of take you on the journey and give you a couple pointers that I realized along the way, just as a insight. I grew up on a college campus in a shared house with other people, but I didn't realize that was sort of instilled in me. And also in college in Europe, I was in a shared house in many, many different ways. Actually, a dorm in Sweden. That's a great model to what some of the ones that people are talking about. Main kitchen, rooms around the outside that are private. Many of the European countries are quite a bit ahead of us. So again, topics, anybody, put them in there. Judy mentioned that I also put in our description a set of cards called the Wisdom of the Crone cards, and I just love them. They have a writing on one side and a wonderful picture of the crone, of a crone, and I think there's probably 52 of them. My favorite's the Journey card. And before I end, I wanted to alert you all that are subscribers to the Women Living in Community, because I do a blog / email to you I try to get it out almost every month. And this month's is coming up today. You should have already gotten it. So look in your email for that. And also I'm going to do another one probably sometime the end of the month to ask your opinion about the Facebook Lives, because I want to hear from you, because I might be taking a break, but I'd like to know some topics. And I'm sorry, Terry, that the connection is rough. Hopefully you can watch it on replay or on the YouTube, and it'll be better. I've noticed that those are better. Thanks for being here. And I'll work on the connection, you know, the internet gods. And Linda has the crone cards too. Yeah, pick one every day. We're all fans. Definitely. So next week, it's soon to be the holidays. And so I thought I'd go talk a little bit about, and hopefully you will weigh in as well, on rituals and community, in the importance of, breaking bread, sitting down together, whatever fashion that looks like these days. And possibly, if you could think about some tradition from your past that you might have brought forward into your present. For me, my family, you would play charades, and we'd always have a white elephant exchange. And I explained to someone today what a white elephant exchange is. If you don't know, tune in next week. Bring your traditions with you to share with us. I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Sorry if the connection was hard on anybody. It's on YouTube. Remember, women living in community, Mary Ann here. Connection, information, and action. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for being here.